Happy hump day. Busy, busy. We're all busy. Busy is certainly the new mantra. When you see someone on the street and you ask them how they are, the first response is often busy. Now, I often say to people, there's a difference between good busy, good productive being busy, and bad busy, where you're ruminating, not making a lot of progress, and perhaps not focusing on what's going on around you. And there's studies that show that when we're busy, we just fail to notice what is happening around us. And when what we're working on, when we see it as important and as urgent and we're busy trying to get it done, what's even worse is it can affect the decisions that we make and make us more prone to make decisions that are not in line with our values or our ethics. This research was done 20 odd years ago, and what they did was they set up a scenario where students were asked to move from one campus building to another campus building, and the researchers varied the busy message and the urgency with which people had to move from building A to building B. But every time they moved from building A to building B, people had to step over someone who was lying on the ground writhing in pain. What the researchers found was that the busier the person was, the more urgent the message was, the more likely the person would step over the person who was lying on the ground writhing in pain. What they also found, though, was that the people who had stepped over the body, when they got to building B, they were highly agitated. And they were highly agitated because what they had done was out of character with their normal values and ethics. Because for most of us, if we saw someone who was lying on the ground in pain, we would want to help them. So the question for you is, when you're busy, what is it around you that you're missing? What are you not noticing that perhaps you need to notice in terms of colleagues who might need help, friends who might need support? And so some questions that might be worth asking yourself. When you're busy, what is it that you're paying attention to? And are you really conscious of the decisions that you're making and the busyness of your mind and how that's impacting how you're making those decisions? And are you taking time to reflect not just on what you need, but also what other people around you need? And then how can you actually create space in your day, even if it's just for 10 minutes, to really take stock, to reflect on how your day has been and what you could do differently? Because if you never find quiet time, if your mind is always busy, you'll never get a chance to learn and to reflect, and therefore to do things differently. Now, taking time out can be hard, particularly when there's a lot going on in both work and in your personal life. But when you're constantly busy, that's when mistakes happen. And I'm always reminded of the quote by a famous US basketball coach, John Wooden. And he always said, if you don't have the time to do it right, when will you have the time to do it over? So, food for thought until I see you next Wednesday. Take care.